everyone. It's such a pleasure to welcome you once again to the On the Mark program here on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan Radio, 860 on your AM dial, www.vaughanradio.com. And of course, we know that we are here every Wednesday from 8 until 10 o'clock. Of course, we know that it's a very popular show. Many persons look forward to On the Mark, and so it is indeed my privilege and pleasure. The Honorable Eric Evelyn sitting in with you for tonight. The Honorable Mark Brantley, our regular host, is not here. Of course, last week we had the Honorable Troy Libert, and this week it's my turn. So I'm here this evening to host the On the Mark show. We'll be here for the next 2 hours from 8 until 10. Of course, we know that it's rebroadcast on a Thursday. So if you listen tonight, you can listen again tomorrow. Those who missed tonight, make sure that you stick by your radio or your phone or your computer, whatever you have to listen to tomorrow. And so it is my pleasure to welcome you to On the Mark tonight. Of course, it's Wednesday, the 7th day of February in the year 2024. We are already in February. It was just December. It was just January, and now we are in February. It's the 7th day of February 2024, and it's the On the Mark program once again. So let me welcome all of you, whether you are in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, whether you're in the region, in the diaspora. We are indeed happy to have you as a part of On the Mark. And of course, call a friend, tell them, message a friend, tell them On the Mark is on the radio. So you need to tune in and listen. We're going to have a lot of information to share with you tonight, and of course the lines are going to be open a little later on as well, and so you can call in. I am here alone tonight because I have a lot of information to share, and of course your calls will be welcomed a little later, and our calls, when you're ready to call, our numbers are 869-469-1616 or 1700, and so we welcome all of you. It's a beautiful Wednesday evening here in Queen City, Nevis, and of course in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And at the top of the show, let me just inform members of the public here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and I'm sure most persons must have heard about this already, that there is actually now a flash flood watch is in effect for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, and this advisory was sent out, or it was issued at 5 o'clock this afternoon by NEMA, and it says that a flash flood watch is in effect for St. Kitts and Nevis from 8 p.m. today, Wednesday, until 8 p.m. tomorrow, Thursday. A flash flood watch means that moderate to major flooding is possible, but not imminent in the watch area. Flash flooding is a very dangerous situation. These watches could be upgraded to warnings if necessary. So once again, a flash flood watch is in effect. We have been hearing for the past 2 days about a trough system that is due to pass through the islands between today and tomorrow. We have not begun to feel the effects of it yet. We have seen some pretty rough seas here in St. Kitts and Nevis. As a matter of fact, the water taxi service had to be suspended early yesterday and today. We don't know what tomorrow will hold, but I understand that over in St. Kitts in particular, the water has been quite rough down there. It's pretty calm here in Nevis at the moment, but of course we are here, we are very close to the sea, and when I got here tonight, I can hear the waves battering to the shoreline there, right over here close to Vaughan Radio. So because apparently the winds are coming out of the south, we are having some very rough seas, and so apart from the rough seas now, we understand that we are now under a flash flood watch. And of course, sometimes we tend to take these watches or warnings very lightly, but we are encouraging persons, especially persons who may have vehicles parked in guts or close to guts. We know what the situation normally is, especially at College Street, Gut in St. Kitts, and so persons who may have their vehicles there or close to there, you are asked to move your vehicles. As we said, the watch is in effect from 8 p.m. tonight until 8 p.m. tomorrow. So please be forewarned. We are hopeful that if we get some rain, that we would not have any major flooding, but if it comes, let us be warned and let us be prepared. And so I just wanted to make sure I get that information out there early for persons who may not be aware that a flash flood watch is in effect. I understand that some of the other islands in the region are already experiencing heavy rainfall, and so our turn may come later tonight and into tomorrow. Okay, that takes care of that. And so Of course, we know at the top of the hour we like to send out some greetings and congratulations to persons who might be celebrating. And I want to start with my celebration list, with the birthday list, with a lady up in Zetlands by the name of Ursula Rogers. Miss Rogers is making 97 today. Mrs. Rogers, I know you're always looking fine at your age, and every time I see you, especially when I visit the church there at Fenton and I see you, you're always looking so sparkling for over 90, and she's making 97. She doesn't seem to age at all. She doesn't seem to look any older, and by the way things are going, I'm sure she's going to be easily scoring that century. Mrs. Rogers, I was supposed to call you today. I got caught up with a lot of things, but anyway, I'm sure somebody's going to tell you that I sent out birthday greetings to you tonight. I know it's not too late, so happy birthday to you, Mrs. Rogers, making 97 today. I also want to send birthday greetings out to Denise Body there in Chickenstone. Denise, you're celebrating your birthday today as well. I hope you've had a wonderful day so far. Enjoy what's left. I know, of course, mommy and the rest of the family, all of the D's, will ensure that you have a wonderful birthday. Also want to send out some birthday greetings to Colin Smith of Hard Times, Frank I over there at Webb's Ground, and Rudolph Dragon Live there at Clegg. They are all celebrating tomorrow. Birthday greetings in advance, and belated birthday greetings also going out to Terrell Newton over there in Zion. You celebrated your birthday yesterday, and if anyone is celebrating an anniversary, we are extending anniversary greetings to you. And since we're talking about anniversaries, I want to say a special good night and happy 50th Independence anniversary to the good people of Grenada. I know we have persons from Grenada who live among us here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. It's a big day for you. Golden Jubilee celebration. I understand they had a lot of activities in Grenada to the run up to today. They're celebrating today. I understand they had a lot of activities, and today was all of the grand celebrations there in Grenada. And so we want to say happy Independence, 50th Independence anniversary to all Grenadians near and far, whether you're living here, whether you're in Grenada or wherever you might be, and you are listening to On The Mark. We say happy anniversary to you. Of course, we here in St. Kitts and Nevis recently celebrated our 40th anniversary, and it was a big deal. So I could imagine what a big deal it was for the Grenadians to make 50. That's quite a score. So once again, happy anniversary to all the Grenadians. And of course, we want to say good night and hello to all those who are, whether you're in the hospital or in the homes, not feeling so well. We say good evening to you. Trust and hope you're going to feel better. And so if you're in the Alexandra Hospital, if you're in the Flamboyant Home, if you're in the St. George and St. John Senior Citizens Home, we say good evening to you. We say good evening to the fine folks who are taking such fantastic care of you. And we trust that you're going to continue to feel better and get better and better as the days go by. And of course, we know here at On The Mark as well, we like to show solidarity with persons who are in the bereaved column. And since January started, well, as a matter of fact, since December last year, we've had a lot of persons in the bereaved column. And so we are here as well to send out our condolences, to show our solidarity with you. We know it is very difficult when you lose a loved one, and so we are here to share in your loss and to share in your pain, and to ask God's grace and mercy upon all those of you who are bereaved at this time. And as I said, a lot of persons are bereaved, and so I want to send out condolences to the families of Richard Brown, Joyce Hennis, and Sylvia Huggins, those persons who were laid to rest last week. And I want to send out special condolences to my family down there in Hanley's Road and wherever you are, the family of the late Nora Mulrain, who we called Evelyn. She was laid to rest this afternoon in a nice quiet service there at the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses, and then interment at the Gingerland Cemetery. And if I could just say, because Mrs. Mulrain was a close relative of mine, and I just want to say what a gem of a person she was. And I know sometimes we, based on how persons behave and react and so on, we can maybe call some persons here on earth angels. And if we were to call any person on earth angels, Mrs. Mulrain would have been one. She was such a sweet soul. Very, very pleasant, very easygoing, very soft-spoken, very kind, very gentle. always greet you with a smile. Even when she was in the hospital, when I visited her in the hospital, that sweet smile was always there. And so we want to say condolences to the entire family, especially to the children, Marita, and my good friend there who is visiting from England. The name is eluding me right now. Tony. Yes, so Tony and the family, and Marita and the family, and all who are bereaved, we say condolences to you. And of course, we also want to say condolences to the family of Andy Mills, who is originally from Jessops, the family of Gavin Woolard, the family of Bernice Eaton, the family of Henrietta Gerald, or we call her Henny, from Hamilton, the family of Jacqueline Williams, also from Hamilton, and the family of my very good friend Mr. Joseph Liebert, who I understand will be laid to rest on Friday the 23rd of February. And so to all who are bereaved, we are with you during this very, very difficult time, and we say condolences, and we trust God will continue to see you through during this very, very difficult time. And so we have said our congratulations, we have sent our condolences, and as I did indicate, I have a lot of information to share with you, the members of the general public, tonight. And once again, we heartily welcome you to the On The Mark program. Of course, we know it's a commercial-free 2-hour talk show, one of the most popular in the region, if not the most popular, and it's always a pleasure to be here to impart information to you, and of course to accept your calls as well, because we know this is a call-in show. This is a show when we accept calls, we accept suggestions, we accept recommendations. And so if you're out there and you would want to call in a little later, be a standby so you can do that. Now, I just want to share some information tonight, particularly regarding two areas. First, to agriculture, and then I'm going to focus a lot on Culturama 50. And with regards to agriculture, I want to just indicate for those persons who may not be aware as yet that the Agri Expo 2024 has been scheduled to take place on Thursday the 21st and Friday the 22nd of March at the ETW Park. Now, traditionally, we normally have the open day on the last Thursday and Friday of March. However, this year, the last Friday is actually on Good Friday. That is the 29th, I think. And so we had to shift the open day upwards by a week. And so we will be having our huge, massive Agri Expo. Of course, we know that it was dubbed Agri Expo last year for the first time, because this event keeps growing and growing and growing. And every year it gets bigger and bigger and better and better. And so it was first the open day, and now we are dubbing it the Agri Expo, because we are not just only encompassing agriculture, but we are bringing in other sectors as well. And so it's all things agriculture. We know how huge that event normally is. We know the quality of that event, how it has grown tremendously over the years. And so we are letting folks know now that the event has been planned for Friday the 22nd and Thursday the 21st and Friday the 22nd of March at the ETW Park. The theme for this year is promoting sustainable agriculture for a resilient future. And of course, we know over the years we keep hearing this word sustainable. All right. And our patron this year, let me congratulate. I don't think anybody would have congratulated her publicly yet. And so let me be the first to publicly congratulate our patron for this year, who is none other than Mrs. Ermin Hendrickson from there in Hamilton. Now, Ermin has been with us for almost all of Open Day. Always very committed. I don't think she has ever, since she started to take part in Open Day as an agro-processor, I don't think she has ever missed an Open Day. And she not only takes part in Open Day, whatever the Department of Agriculture and the Ministry of Agriculture is having, we just call and she says yes. And so if we are doing anything at the Malcolm Gishard Park, if we're doing anything at Indian Castle, if we're doing anything at the Villa, if we're doing anything in Charlestown for the Fruit Festival, wherever we are, Ermin is always there, always supporting us. And I don't think we could have made a better choice to have Mrs. Ermin Hendrickson as our patron for the Agri Expo for 2024. Now, you're going to be hearing a lot more about the Agri Expo during the next couple of weeks because it's more than a month away. And so you're going to be hearing a lot more on radio and television, on social media. But I want to sound an early alarm and just to remind persons who normally take part in the open day, those of you who normally get a booth, those of you who normally register for a booth, I'm asking you to please do so early, because here in Nevis we have a bad habit of trying to wait until the last minute and come a week before the open day, before the Agri Expo. We can't allow that, because there has to be proper planning that goes into effect to plan the booths, to plan the layout and so on. And so we want to know those who will be taking part in the Agri Expo. And so we're asking you to start making your way to Prospect, to the Agriculture Department, to register your names or register your business or whatever you're going to be doing. Register early for the Agri Expo. We do not want people waiting until the last minute. And I know a lot of the time, sometimes people deliberately wait to the last minute and come to the minister and say, well, I didn't register, so please make a call and tell them put me in. I do not want anybody to be coming to me the week before or the week of the Agri Expo to say, I want to get in and I didn't register. So those of you who normally take part, if you know persons who normally take part and they may not be listening, I'm asking you to kindly pass the message on to them. Tell them that registration is now open at the Department of Agriculture at Prospect, and so they can go and pay their cash or pay by credit card, whatever you do, because we are now accepting credit card. We are now accepting cards at the Agriculture Department as well. So kindly go, pay, and make sure you secure your spot for the Agri Expo 2024. I also want to bring to the attention of the domino lovers that there will be the usual domino competition for the Agri Expo this year. And the information I have is that the preliminary round of the domino competition will be held on Saturday the 16th of March at Friends Bar right here in Bath Village. And then the quarterfinals will be held on Thursday the 21st of March at the ETW Park. That's the first day of the Agri Expo. And then the semi-finals and finals, well, this almost sounds like a Calypso competition now. Preliminary round, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals. And so the semi-finals and finals will be on Friday, March the 22nd at the ETW Park. So let me repeat. For the domino lovers, and I know we have a lot of domino lovers and a lot of domino enthusiasts here on the island of Nevis, and I know people love to take part in domino competitions. And so we have that domino competition for the Agri Expo. The preliminary round is set for Saturday the 16th of March at Friends Bar right here in Bath Village. The quarterfinals is set for Thursday the 21st of March. That's the first day of the Agri Expo at the ETW Park. And then the semi-finals and the finals will be hosted on Friday the 22nd of March at the ETW Park. And I know those guys are serious, and I know that competition normally goes down very, very late. And hear what I think this is the part that most of the domino lovers and the domino players will be listening out for. The prizes for the domino competition this year: first place is $1,500. The second place is $1,000. The third place, $700. The fourth place, $300, and the registration fee is only $75. So let me say that again. First place, $1,500. Second place, $1,000. Third place, $700. Fourth place, $300. Registration fees, $75. And you can call 669-8947 for more information, and I guess to register. So the number to call once again is 669-8947 when you can register. And I wanted to stick up in here and big up the sponsors of the domino tournament as well. And the sponsors are the Finished Touch and Brands Architectural Services. And I know that these two firms have been supporting the open day and have been sponsoring this domino tournament for a very, very long time. Ever since I was at the Agriculture Department, Finished Touch and Brands Architectural Service, they are always on board with the domino competition. And so we want to say thanks very much to the proprietors, the owners, the managers of the Finish Touch and Brands Architectural Services. We want you to support these folks. They normally support things here on the island of Nevis. And so we want to say thank you. Big thanks to the Finish Touch and Brands Architectural for sponsoring once again that huge domino competition with those massive prizes which will be taking place. The finals will be at the ETW Park on the 22nd of March. So domino guys, you have something to look forward to, and I know that you all will be all excited where that domino competition is concerned. And so that takes care of the little information I had where agriculture is concerned. There's a lot more I can share, but my main focus tonight, and I know that over the past couple of weeks that the Premier has been here, that he has been saying a lot about C50, Culturama 50 and the homecoming, and so most of my focus tonight will be on C50 and the homecoming. I have a lot of information to share. I know this is a show, as I said, that everybody listens to, and so I decided to come and share this information tonight. Now, I must say that we had a press conference, a Culturama press conference, and of course you'd realize that we started early o'clock this year because this is a huge year for us. It's a milestone. It's the 50th anniversary, and we know that lots and lots and lots of persons, returning nationals and visitors, who will be gracing our shores for C50. And so we have started the planning in earnest early o'clock because we want people to get an experience, an unforgettable experience. The Caribbean's greatest summer lime will be like none you have ever experienced this year. And so we would have started things, kicked the ball off early this year. We would have had our first Culturama press conference. I don't think we would have ever had a press conference for Culturama so early in the year. So we would have had that on the 25th of January at the Malcolm Guichard Recreational Park, and we would have shared a lot of information there during that press conference. And of course, the Honorable Mark Brantley would have shared some information as well during his press conference. And we have been sending news items out there. We've been putting things on social media, but we know that the On The Mark show is a show that everybody listens to. And so those of you who may have missed the press conference, those of you who may have missed the Premier's press conference, those of you who may have missed it on Facebook, on social media, those of you who may have missed it here on Von Radio or NTV, I am going to share all of that information that was shared with the general public, so at least people can be aware and people can be reminded as well, because sometimes you have to give people a gentle reminder when you have pertinent information to share. And all of the information that I have here tonight to share is very, very pertinent information, and I'm going to ask persons to listen very carefully. And if you may not have heard and you need to act on any of the information that I'm going to share tonight, we're asking you to act and to act swiftly. Okay, now the information I'm going to share first is about a jingle competition. And of course we know that over the past years we would have had jingle competitions, but this one is attracting a bigger prize, and I'm sure a lot more persons will be going towards entering the jingle competition. And so those of you who may want to enter the jingle competition, I have some very important information for you, and I'm going to give you all of the information unedited. I'm going to give it to you as it was given to me. And so let's go. Division songwriters, producers and artists are invited to participate in the Culturama 50 jingle competition from now on, referred to as the C50 Jingle Competition. This competition is open to individuals with a passion for music and creativity, wishing to showcase their talents and contribute to promoting the Nevis Culturama Festival 50th anniversary on a local, regional and international scale by participating in the C50 Jingle Competition. Music producers and artists have the opportunity to craft a promotional masterpiece that will captivate audiences and serve as a powerful marketing tool for the upcoming 50th anniversary of Nevis's Culturama Festival and Homecoming celebration from Thursday, July the 25th until Tuesday, August the 6th, 2024. This competition will open doors to recognition in the music industry, providing regional and international exposure, enticing prizes, and the creation of lifelong musical memories. Eligibility requirements. All entrants must be Nevisians or individuals residing in Nevis for a minimum of 12 months leading up to the entry deadline of the competition. Entrants must be 18 years of age or older to be eligible. Entrants may be soloists or duets. For duets, the names of each singer must be given. Producers must be Nevisians residing on Nevis or part of the diaspora. Non-resident Nevisian producers must provide verifiable proof of their nationality upon song submission. Proof can include a copy of a birth certificate, passport, or national ID card. Non-nationals living in Nevis for at least 12 months before the competition's entry deadline are also eligible. However, proof of residence is required. Rules. 1. Entries must revolve around the slogan for Culturama 50, which is celebrating culture, embracing history. It's Culturama 50. And the phrase Culturama 50 can also be used. 2. The jingle can be of any genre, but should incorporate Caribbean elements such as fife, steel pan, banjo, African drums, kettle drum, etc. into the music. 3. All entries, including lyrics, melody, and arrangement, must be original and unpublished compositions, ensuring no infringement upon copyrights or third-party rights. 4. The jingle should not have been entered in any previously organized competition of any genre, locally, regionally, or internationally. 5. By entering the C50 jingle competition, the entrant confirms the authenticity of the submission and agrees to indemnify and hold the Nevis Culturama Committee harmless against any claims that contradict this requirement. 6. Entries with lyrics that are deemed indecent, derogatory, discriminatory, or defamatory will be rejected. 7. The jingle must be between 30 and 60 seconds long. 8. The musical accompaniment for the jingle must consist of a blend of at least 5 of the following instruments: drums, percussions, piano, bass guitar, rhythm guitar, banjo, synthesizers, steel pan, fife, African drums, kettle drum, strings, lead vocals, and backing vocals that are well balanced and blended into a professional or semi-professional final product. 9. The vocals of the singer or singers should be clear and easily audible. 10. The Nevis Culturama Committee members, employees in the Culturama Secretariat, the Nevis Cultural Development Foundation, and their immediate family members are not eligible to enter. Submission guidelines. Each entry must include the completed entry form, the uploaded audio file of the jingle in MP3 format, no longer than 60 seconds long, typed lyric sheet with an entrant's name at the top, proof of the nationality of the producer. The following information must accompany the jingle: name of the performer or performers, the name of the producer, the genre of the song, the date of submission. Jingles must be emailed to jinglecompetition@culturamanevis.com. All submissions must be received via email by Friday, March the 29th. Let me say that again. All submissions must be received via email by Friday, March the 29th, 2024 at 8 p.m. to be eligible for entry into the C50 Jingle Competition. General. By entering the C50 Jingle Competition, participants fully acknowledge and accept that all decisions are final and binding. Participants also agree to comply with and be bound by all the forms and conditions outlined in the official rules and regulations. The winner must be readily available and fully committed to fulfilling all obligations and responsibilities they may be required as a C50 Jingle Competition winner. The Nevis Culturama Committee holds the exclusive rights to use the winning jingle across local, regional, and international platforms to vigorously promote the 50th anniversary of the Nevis Culturama Festival and Homecoming celebration. Prizes and incentives. The winning prize for the song competition is $5,000 EC. The song competition winner will be rewarded with an exclusive opportunity to have the winning song professionally mixed and mastered post-production by a renowned music producer. Adjudication. The songs entered into the C50 Jingle Competition will be judged by Wednesday, April the 10th, 2024. The judging criteria will focus on musicality, lyrics, composition, vocals, originality, production quality, and promotional appeal. A panel of qualified judges with music, songwriting, and production expertise will adjudicate all entries submitted to the C50 Jingle Competition. There shall only be one declared winner in the C50 Jingle Competition. Announcement of the winner. The winner of the C50 Jingle Competition will be announced in the local print and or electronic media and on all social media platforms of the Nevis Island Administration and the Nevis Culturama Committee on Friday, April the 12th, 2024. And so, that's a mouthful. And that's regarding the jingle competition that the Culturama Secretariat, the Culturama Committee is hosting for 2024. I know that a lot of persons are already interested, even when this was launched on the 25th of January. Persons were already asking me questions, so I know people are already putting pen to paper. I believe that some people already have their jingles ready and are already getting them produced because persons want to lay their hands on that $5,000. There's a lot you can do with $5,000, and so if you can sing well, Melissa, I know you can sing well, so maybe you can enter. Anyone who can sing well, and even if you can't sing well, you may be able to write it and let somebody sing it for you, right? And so, even if you can't sing well, you can have an arrangement where you write the jingle, let somebody sing it, and if the person wins the competition, then you all share the money, half. You know, so please, those of you who are interested in the jingle competition, I've given you all of that information there. If you need more information, you could always call the Culturama Secretariat, call any member of the Culturama Committee, and they will be able to give you that information. Or of course, you can also go to the Culturama website, www.culturamanevis.com, and you can get all of the information there. And so those of you who may not have heard about that jingle competition, you might be interested in entering. This is your golden opportunity to win an extra $5,000. And guess what? If you win the $5,000, what you can do, you can put it in the bank, put it in a special saving and say, this is my Culturama money. Right? This is my Culturama money, because there's going to be a lot of linemen for Culturama 50. There will be a lot of things to go to. And so if you win that $5,000, put it aside. That's just a little encouragement or suggestion I'm giving to you, put it aside and say, well, listen, I ain't gonna touch this till Culturama come. When Culturama come, I have me spending money. I'm gonna spend, and I'm gonna go out every night. I'm gonna have fun because I won this from the jingle competition. All right, some more information that we shared at the press conference, which I will share here again tonight. The Nevis Culturama Committee partners with Fun in the Sun Travel for Culturama 50 Nevis. The Nevis Culturama Committee is happy to announce Fun in the Sun Travel as the official UK travel agent for the highly anticipated Culturama 50, scheduled for July 2024. Miss Jackie Walker, CEO and founder of Fun in the Sun, expressed her excitement for the partnership, reflecting on her successful involvement in organizing the Culturama 40 trip a decade ago, along with Mr. Chris Collins. I'm delighted for this opportunity. 10 years ago, we successfully brought 137 individuals as part of our pilot program, and we have continued organizing group trips, including the St. Kitts Music Festival and the 40th anniversary of independence. Adding to the excitement, Mrs. Jennifer Rouse Burgundy, chair of the Leeward Islands People's Association LEPA in Manchester, UK, will play a pivotal role in the Culturama 50 festivities. She will contribute her expertise to enhance the event, ensuring an unforgettable experience for the visitors. Mrs. Burgundy enthusiastically shared, "We are excited to announce plans for a troupe from the UK to participate in the Culturama 50 celebrations. This addition will not infuse infuse an international flair into the festivities, but also strengthen the cultural exchange between Nevis and the United Kingdom. UK residents interested in participating in the Culturama 50 festivities are encouraged to reach out to Fun in the Sun Travel via the following channels, and you can reach them at email at info@funinthesun.co.uk, and fun is spelled PHUN. You can also reach them at 011-38330875 or mobile 0746 4105061. Their website is www.funinthesun.co.uk, and they can also be reached on Facebook and Instagram. And so we have been saying all along, since last year we've been saying this, that we are expecting Nevis to sink a couple inches because the hundreds and thousands of people who will be here. This here is saying that we will be getting a troop out of England, and I know that I think in excess of over 100 people have already booked with Fun in the Sun to be here on Nevis for Culturama 50. So the excitement is not only here on the island of Nevis, but it's also in the UK. It's in the diaspora. People are excited. People want to come home. People can't wait for Culturama 50, and we can't wait for Culturama 50, because we started early. I almost feel like Culturama is next week, and so I'm feeling the vibes, and I know a lot of people out there are feeling the vibes as well. Okay. Now, also as a part of Culturama 50, the C50 package, we also have the Culturama 50 Island Enhancement Incentive Program. And this one is being spearheaded by the Ministry of Finance. The Nevis Island Administration, NIA, will be implementing a tax incentive package geared towards the rejuvenation of communities and businesses as part of the homecoming celebrations for Culturama 50. This initiative is intended to assist with the beautification of the island and aid in the rejuvenation to private homes, commercial buildings, residential buildings, community buildings such as churches and other facilities. This package will run for the period February the 1st, so it has already started, and it will run until August the 31st, 2024, with the main areas of focus being as follows: painting of properties, erecting of fencing, construction of driveways and walkways, changing of windows, doors, and other physical aesthetics as on the external of the property, replacing of furniture and equipment for guest houses and apartments to enhance the accommodation for visitors. Concessions to be granted: exemption from import duties and customs service charge on all items falling into the category above. However, the 17% VAT will be payable. The applicant must submit a completed application form which will be available at the Ministry of Finance, building board approval if that is applicable, contractor's estimate of the cost of the project or bill of quantities, valid government identification card, and if you're a business owner, you'll need to provide a valid business license for commercial entities you must be up to date with your payment of taxes as well. So once again, this island enhancement initiative, it's really geared towards us sprucing up the island, the entire island, for the C50 and homecoming celebration. We as an administration, we have already decided when we met in cabinet 2 weeks ago that we are going to try our utmost to spruce up the government buildings in Charlestown or probably in other parts of the island. But we want when people come home, they have a rich, inviting experience, whether it's our returning nationals, whether it's visitors. We want Nevis to look brand new. And so the Ministry of Finance have carefully crafted this Island Enhancement Initiative program where we want Nevis to look brand new. We're also encouraging the businesses in particular in Charlestown as well. Charlestown is a city and we want the city to have that extra glow, that extra spruce. And so we are encouraging the business places in Charlestown as well. Of course, there's an incentive for you doing so. There's an exemption for the customs service charge. You'll have to pay the VAT. And of course, you have to apply to finance. Let me make it clear, because if you're going to be building a new house, this does not pertain to you. So it is for you to spruce up your property. And of course, it says what is going to be the focus will be: painting of the property, erecting of the fence, construction of driveways and walkways, changing of windows, doors, and other physical aesthetics on the external of the property. So if you're going to be building your house for the first time, or if you're going to be adding on a room to your house, or if you're going to be changing your roof, that will not suffice. So you must apply at the Ministry of Finance, and when you go there and you tell them what you're going to do, they're going to indicate to you whether or not you can qualify for the incentive package. Now, I said earlier on when I was speaking about the Agriculture Agri-Expo that people have a tendency here on the island of Nevis to wait until the last minute. Now, this incentive package, this program, it goes until the 31st of August, and so you have from now. It's a relatively short window, but it's a long enough window if you want to do something that you can get it done within that time span. So if you want to do something to your property to spruce it up, we're asking you to start to act now, getting your estimate, getting your material together. Remember, you have to apply to the Ministry of Finance. You have to vet your application, and so we're asking you to do that. And of course, we did that because we also launched something else when we were at the press conference, and that is called the Homestay Initiative. And in some way, they're kind of bit related, because we're asking persons in Nevis with this Homestay Initiative you might be able to welcome some visitors into your home, persons who you may not know. And so if you want to welcome persons into your home, you want your home to be that welcome, you want them to get that nice welcoming experience. So if you want to brighten up your home, if you want to change windows and doors, guest houses, if you want to change some furniture, go right ahead. Head to the hardwares and find out what the prices are. If you have to order something from overseas, you have a couple months in which to do so. So please start to act now. And during the press conference as well, we would have also launched what we call the Culturama 50 Homestay Program. And this is another unique program that we would have launched at the press conference. And let me just read the introductions. In St. Kitts and Nevis, tourism is a major contributor to our economic sector. As we prepare for the 50th anniversary of Culturama, the Ministry of Tourism, the Nevis Tourism Authority, and the Culturama Secretariat, they are collaborating to expand the accommodation sector through a homestay program. This is in response to the high demand, and I've been saying this all along, to the high demand of requests to book accommodations by visitors and returning nationals during the Culturama 50 period, because I'm already hearing that some hotels on Nevis are already fully booked for Culturama. Some villas apparently are already fully booked, and so people will now have an opportunity to take advantage of some extra money you can get. And the aims of the program are as follows: to provide alternative and affordable accommodation to visitors and returning nationals within our communities, to provide an enriching, authentic Nivision experience that will bring economic benefits to locals, assist in attaining sustainable tourism and the promotion of tourism within rural communities, and spread the tourism spending and boost overall economic development. Now, the overall goal of the program, this product represents the tourism goal of achieving sustainable tourism and growth in community-based tourism, CBT. The goal for this product is for tourists to engage in local culture, such as local food, festivities, festivals and traditions that will be on display at Culturama 50 and Homecoming. And the categories of homestay program, we have the true Nivision experience, renting a room in a Nivision home or shared space. We have the apartment or the guest houses, and we have the luxury Nivision homes and villas. And so what this program is doing is giving people an opportunity. If you have a house, you may live alone in the house, and your house may have 3 bedrooms. You may have a bedroom that you normally have for guests, a bedroom and a bathroom. You can actually open your home to visitors, because when persons stay in a home, it's a unique experience. They're getting an authentic Nivision experience staying in your home. You'll be able to probably cook for them. So they might be getting some local food, and you're earning some money, and they're getting a nice Nivision experience, because in essence, there are some persons who probably may prefer to stay with a Nivision family than to stay at a hotel. Of course, the hotel or the guest house or the villa will cost you a lot more. And so persons who have extra space, or you may have an upstairs and a downstairs property, you may be dwelling upstairs and downstairs is available, or you may be dwelling downstairs and upstairs is available. It's an opportunity, but you'll have to register with the Ministry of Tourism, I think, or the Nevis Tourism Authority, and they will guide you as to what you have to do. So they'll be able to put that information out there for persons who are coming in and may not have any place to stay, because as we say, that we believe we will be cramped for space in our hotels and our guest houses and our villas, and so people will want extra space. I understand that when persons from Nevis went up to the Leeds, that milestone anniversary that they had, it was a homestay program that persons from Nevis were able to benefit from. So persons from Nevis who went up to Leeds were able to stay with English families, persons who they never knew, who they've never met before. And I understand that most persons, or everyone, had a wonderful experience. And so if you have that extra room, if you have that extra space, if you have that extra apartment on your property, and you would want to take advantage, we're asking you to call the Ministry of Tourism, call the Nevis Tourism Authority, get some additional information, and you can make some additional money. Because we don't want anybody to say they want to come to Nevis and they don't have any place to stay. I was talking to a relative of mine the other day from reside in St. Croix, and she was saying that she know a gentleman say he wants to come home, but he don't believe he's going to come again because the entire family is coming and the house can't hold everybody. Now I can say, if you want to come and the entire family want to come and some have to sleep on the floor, sleep on the floor. If you want to come home for Culturama, we want to see your face in the place. We know that a lot of people are coming who haven't been here for maybe 20, 30, 40 plus years, and we will be so happy to welcome you. But we want people, when they come, they're able to squeeze inside of a house. We don't want anybody outside. And so we want everybody to, when they come, get some kind of accommodation. And so Nivisions, residents, those of you who are here, those of you who are listening, and you believe that you can accommodate 1 or 2 persons in your home, we're asking you to sign up for this program. All right? As I told you, I did have a lot of information to share tonight, and as I said, I feel like Culturama is next week. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of information regarding Culturama. And then the last thing that we would have mentioned, which I would have released at the press conference, has to do with a scholarship, one of the winning prizes for Miss Culture. And it says here, President of Monroe College, Mark Jerome, has confirmed in an email to Premier the Honorable Mark Brantley the agreement to help the Nevis Island Administration increase educational opportunities for Nevisians by providing 1 full scholarship to be awarded to the Miss Culture Queen pageant winner for 2024. This funding covers all tuition and fees to study in New York and will stay with the awardee for the 8 semesters required to earn a bachelor's degree, provided she stays in good academic standing. The awardee may choose to study on or St. Lucia campus or wholly online if that is her preference. So it is saying here that the winner can study online if she wishes. She can study in St. Lucia, or if she wishes to go to New York. The awardee will need to meet our eligibility requirements for admission, of course. Rest assured, our international admissions team will assign an advisor to help the awardee through the application and student visa processes. Given the tight timing between the crowning of Miss Culture Queen and the start of the fall semester, it is advised that the awardee to begin her studies during the winter semester that starts in early January. A scholarship certificate will be created to be presented to the awardee on the night she is crowned. Mr. Jerome said they are very excited by this opportunity and look forward to welcoming our first Miss Culture Queen to campus. And I can say here as well that Mr. Jerome did indicate, that's the president of Monroe, that if his schedule allows, he wants to be here in Nevis to make that presentation himself to the Miss Culture on the night of the show. The scholarship does not include the cost of on-campus housing. Housing costs $4,000 per semester on average. And so the NIA will be seeking additional sponsorship for the cost of housing for Miss Culture. And just a little bit about Monroe College. It was named for U.S. President James Monroe. The Monroe School of Business opened in 1933 and has completed 90 years of operations. In 1998, Monroe Online was at the forefront of internet learning, bringing the school's resources to people across the country and around the world, with 20 degree programs now fully online. The college has 3 campuses, the Bronx and New Rochelle in New York, and of course the campus on the Caribbean island of St. Lucia. And of course, let me say here as well that we must absolutely make mention of one of our very own, Mr. Shervin Green, who is affiliated with Monroe and who has been in New York for some time. And Mr. Green is the one who made that contact for us with the president, Mr. Mark Jerome. He would have been in contact with the premier, and he said, Mr. Premier, I would have made a contact to get a scholarship for Miss Culture. And so, Mr. Shervin Green, I want to say thank you very, very, very much. We from the Nevis Island Administration and all of Nevis, thank you. If you're not listening, I'm sure your mommy is very proud of you. I'm sure she's going to tell you that Eric said thanks. All right. So, Mr. Shervin Green, thank you so very much. And we also thank Mr. Mark Jerome, the president of Monroe. And of course, during that press conference, we would have also released the first wave of the core activities for Culturama 50. And let me state here, because after the core activities, that first wave was released, I got a lot of calls. Persons were calling the Culturama Secretariat, persons were calling members on the committee. I remember I got a message from someone who lives overseas in the US, and he said, is this thing official? Because I'm not seeing some of the activities here. But it was made clear at the press conference that this was just the first wave. And so we have several other wave of activities to come. And so what you saw there in that first release of the first wave is just some of the core activities, those activities that are on the calendar practically every year. And so a lot of the activities that are done by private promoters, they were not on that first wave, but trust me, they will be coming, because of course we said that this year's Culturama experience will be like no other before. And so we have a lot of activities planned, and so bear in mind that what you saw released there on the 25th of January 2024 is far from all of the activities that will be hosted for Culturama 50. I remember I spoke to a cousin-in-law who lives in New York, and he told me, Eric, make sure I'll have things to people to do, because he said, I believe all divisions in New York coming home, and with New York people like to lime, and make sure you have a lot of things. So we are giving an opportunity for private promoters, and I have a notice about the private promoters as well. And so those are some of the information that we would have presented at that press conference. And apart from that, I want to say now, I would have said it at the press conference, and I want to say here again, that we already have a full complement, a full slate of contestants for Miss Culture Swimwear, and I also understand that I think we have a full slate for Mr. Cool as well. And so people have come out early to register early for these major shows, because of course you would have heard that the Miss Culture, one of her winning prize will be a scholarship to Monroe College, and we're going to be unveiling a lot more attractive prizes, and so people want to cash in for this, the 50th anniversary. Last year when we were looking contestants for Miss Culture and Miss Culture Swimwear, people were saying, I want to wait until the 50th anniversary, I want to wait. And so we had a very hard time getting contestants last year, but that was not the case this year. Everybody is excited about C50. We in the Nevis Island administration are excited. The Nivision public is excited. The Nivisions in the diaspora are excited. And it's going to be a real homecoming celebration as well, when we have a lot of our Nivisions coming home. And so we have that full complement of Miss Culture Swimwear, and Mr. Cool. But I want to say here tonight that registration is now open for the other contests, and so registration is now open for the Talented Youth Pageant. The deadline for that is Thursday the 29th of February. I think it should be Friday. I think February 29th is a Friday. So the Talented Youth Pageant, the deadline is Friday the 29th of February, right? So if you're in the schools and you want your children to participate, please bear in mind that deadline. Now, the Junior Calypso contest, I understand that we don't have any registrations yet, and I know this is a contest that a lot of the junior calypsonians are normally very interested in, and we always get a good number every year. We always get a good compliment every year, and the junior calypsonians are always very well prepared by Jazzy Chiverton and the Greenhouse Band, who sponsor that competition every year. And so, junior calypsonians, we are asking you to sign up, register at the Culturama Secretariat or online, and the deadline for your registration is Friday the 7th of June. So once again, for the Junior Calypso contest, the deadline is Friday, June the 7th. And we're also asking persons to register for the Senior Calypso competition. So that competition is also open for registration. The deadline is Friday, March the 29th. Friday, March the 29th. Okay? Then for the Soca Monarch contest, the deadline is Friday, May the 3rd. And it says here, songs should be emailed in MP3 format to music@culturamanevis.com. And the song submission deadline is Friday, May the 31st, 2024. Okay, so we're asking persons who are taking part in the competitions this year, because a lot of the activities going to be earlier, like the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and so on, will be done earlier. And so we're asking people to start your preparation now. We normally have issues with some of our calypsonians waiting till the last minute to write their lyrics, waiting till the last minute to go to the band house, and that sort of thing. We do not want that to happen this year. We want to have a quality festival, and to have a quality festival, we must have quality shows of a very high standard. And so we are asking persons to start your planning and your preparation early. We are leading from the front. And so we would have done this press conference earlier o'clock, the 29th of January. And so we are asking participants to start your preparations early. No last minute thing for the 50th anniversary of Culturama. We must put on an extraordinary showing, especially for our returning nationals and especially for our visitors who will be home for the homecoming and for C50. I also have a notice for private promoters and organizers. Private promoters and organizers of fringe events, you are invited to join us for an unforgettable C50 experience. If you would like to add an event to the C50 calendar of activities, please send your request to Culturama Secretariat at the secretariat at culturamanevis.com. So once again, send your information to the secretariat at culturamanevis.com. Deadline for submission is Wednesday, February the 21st, 2024. So here we are saying that we know that persons normally have their own private events, but sometimes those private events actually make it to the Culturama calendar of events. And so we're asking the private promoters and those who normally organize fringe events, if you're interested this year, if you normally have a fringe event, do not take it for granted that the Culturama Secretariat will put your program, your event on the program. It does not work so. You have to indicate early o'clock that you want to have this fringe event. I normally have it. I want to do it again this year. If there are new persons who want to do fringe events, we're asking you to send your information early so that at least you can get in, you can cash in on what is there on offer for Culturama 50. And so the deadline for the submission is Wednesday, February the 21st, 2024. Okay, and I just want to say here as well that since last year, since we have been bigging up and playing up the Culturama 50, I know a lot of persons would have been calling, would have been messaging, and by the way, I'm going to open the lines now. So anybody who wants to call in it with anything you have to offer, you can do so. Our numbers are 869-469-1616 or 869-469-1700. So our lines are now open. I will continue to share the information, but you can feel free to start calling now. Anything you want to put on the table, you can feel free to start calling the Eastern Caribbean's Powerhouse Vaughan Radio. Of course, it's the On the Mark program for today, Wednesday the 7th of February 2024. I am your host, Evelyn, and so I would have given a mouthful about Culturama. I would have given some information about agriculture, and if you want to react to anything that I've said, or if you want to put anything else on the table, please feel free to call now. Our number is 869-469-1616 or 869-469-1700. And so while I wait for the first call, I want to say as well that since last year, when we would have been talking about the C50 and the homecoming celebration, we would have had a lot of persons who would have called, a lot of persons who would have messaged about, possible events that they would like to see on the calendar for this year. And I want to say that we have listened, we have taken note of all of what have been said. And do we have a caller yet? No, we don't have a caller yet. So since last year, a lot of persons would have been calling, they would have been messaging, and they would have been emailing information to us, myself, to the Culturama Secretariat, to members of the committee, and they're saying, listen, this is the 50th anniversary. I want to see this event on. I want to see this event off. I want you to change things. I want you to do things a little differently where that is concerned. I want to indicate here that we have taken note of all of what you would have said. We have taken note of all of the suggestions, all of the recommendations, and we have to say here as well that all of the suggestions and all of the recommendations could not make it onto the calendar. And so if you call and you made a suggestion and it is not on the calendar, it's not that you did not make a good suggestion or a good recommendation, but it is practically impossible for all of those suggestions that we had, and as I told you, we had tons and tons of them, for all of those to go on the calendar. Then we would have had to extend Culturama probably for a month or a month and a half, right? And so we could not accommodate all of the suggestions. We apologize for that. And however, we want to say here again that, and I also want to say that the Culturama Committee is a committee that volunteers. The Culturama Committee members are not paid. They are doing human service. They're doing community service. And so the committee itself can only manage that many of events or that much. And so that is why we're asking our fringe activities promoters and other promoters to come on board and to kindly organize your own events for Culturama 50. That is, over the years we've had successful Culturama hosting of Culturama, but we have not done it on our own. And so this year again we are extending that invitation. We are depending on you, our private promoters. We are depending on you, the persons who organize fringe events, to once again come on board to enhance what we do from the committee level. As I said, the committee cannot do everything, and the committee can only be stretched that far, because I know a lot of persons have called and said, well, I think you all should add this show, I think you all should add that show. But every show that the committee adds, it's more work for the committee. And not only more work for the committee, but more money the government has to spend. And I don't believe people understand how expensive the hosting of Culturama really is. It's a very expensive undertaking. And so it's the government, the Nevis Island administration, is the main sponsor for Culturama. And of course we know we have sponsors who come on board for Culturama. But Culturama is really the brunt of the expenses is borne by the Nevis Island administration. And of course we know that we're a poor administration and we don't have a lot of money. And so every event that we add to the Culturama lineup, and especially if we have to bring in an artist, if we have to pay prize money, and even if it's not a competition, persons may need a little stipend, it adds to the expense of the committee. And so that is the basis on which we said, well, we absolutely cannot add all of the events that persons are calling for. Of course, a lot of the events sound good. They sound good on paper, but to execute takes a lot in terms of manpower. To execute takes a lot in terms of money. And so the committee itself is not able to handle too much more than what they are already doing. And so that is why we are encouraging the persons who do the private events to continue to come on board, and we're expecting you to come on board in a big way again for 2024 C50. We have our first caller online. Good evening, caller. You're live and on the mark.
Good evening, Evelyn.
How are you?
Not bad. Oh, Mel, music.
Yes.
I'm listening, but they hear you say not about Miss Caribbean.
But you see, the thing, that is what I was just saying, right? When we had the first wave of events that were rolled out, that was not on the first wave, but that is a private event that is not hosted by the Culturama Committee. And so what we would have released on the 25th of January are the core events that are organized by the committee, right? So all of those other private events were not on that first wave. We have another wave of activities to roll out very, very shortly, and so those are going to come. So all of those events that the people are accustomed to, they will be coming.
And my children asked about breakfast fete or something.
And all of those are things that private promoters can organize, because I think in the past there was a breakfast fete that was organized, I think at the netball complex, I think that is where it was organized. And so I think as well that the Culturama committee will be meeting actually with some of the private promoters.
Okay.
But the private promoters, we're asking them to submit their proposed activities and try to get them in early, because we know there's going to be competition for the dates, competition for the run up to Culturama, and so we're asking persons to submit your dates early. But trust me, the Miss Caribbean is very much on.
Okay.
It's very much on.
Okay.
Thank you very much, and you have a good night, and I hope I'm going to see you for Culturama 50.
I hope so.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Omel. All right. And so our lines remain open. Our numbers are 869-469-1616, 869-469-1700. And I'm happy that caller called in, because I did mention it earlier that when we did that first release, a number of persons were contacting us. As I said, I remember one person messaged me from the US, and he said, is this official? And I said, yes, it is very official. But I said, have no fear. The events, all of the other events that you're normally accustomed to seeing for Culturama 50 will definitely be on. And so, private promoters, you hear persons are calling for breakfast fete and all kind of other things, and so you have an opportunity to plan, but in order to get it on the calendar, in order to be sanctioned by the Culturama committee, you absolutely must apply to the Culturama Secretariat. And I did give that deadline a while ago. Let me see if I can find it here again. But I did give that deadline for the persons who wishing to do the private events. And yes, the deadline for the private to submit your information for the private events would be Wednesday, February the 21st. So you actually do not have a lot of time. You do not have a lot of time. So submit by Wednesday, February the 21st. Okay, so once again, you're in tune to the Eastern Caribbean's Powerhouse, Vaughan Radio 860 on your AM dial, www.vaughanradio.com. And of course, those of you who are viewing via Facebook, we are indeed delighted to have you. Of course, we know we have lots and lots of people in the diaspora who log on and who are in tune every Wednesday to On The Mark. And of course, this is a huge hit over the years. It has been really hitting the airwaves, hitting the internet, hitting Facebook, and we are delighted that people log on and tune in every Wednesday to be a part of the Eastern Caribbean's Powerhouse biggest talk show On The Mark. And so once again, I've been talking about Culturama, and if you have any questions where Culturama is concerned, as I said, it's almost feel like Culturama is next week, and so I decided to do a program with a bit of a difference tonight. And so Melissa, while we wait for our next call, I want you to line up one of those tunes that I told you to line up there, because we want to get people, especially people overseas, in the mood for Culturama 50. It's going to be off the hook. Trust me, you absolutely cannot afford to miss Culturama for this year. We have a caller online. Good evening, caller. You're live and On The Mark.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, Eric.
Yes.
I sent you a link.
Yes, I saw it.
You see it?
I saw it, and congratulations, you're looking good.
Okay. Apart from that, recently, I sent you the link for Joseph Cowan, the former LIPA driver, who passed and will be buried tomorrow.
Okay. That's in Montserrat, right?
Yes, in Montserrat.
Okay.
The link, I sent you the link. So you can share it with those ardent LIPA members of the past who really want to look at it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, and congratulations on the good work that you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe you want to tell the folks what you're doing, that information you shared with me.
You mean earlier?
I mean, when we were at the funeral, the agriculture.
That was the Higher Heights Rastafari movement.
Okay.
We're located in Kidsby area, and we have a plot of land just there in Clifton's estate, I think it is.
Yes.
And so we have it well fenced and have it well planted. We have some organic food. We have some sweet potato coming shortly. We are presently reaping local beef, string beans, and okra.
Okay.
We have some carrots, not quite ready yet, but coming.
Okay.
We have some watermelon, and squash.
Okay.
And I think you could pass. Feel free to pass anytime.
Okay, sir. I'll certainly give you a call when I'm coming.
Okay, great.
Thank you very much, and keep up the good works. Of course, we have to feed our people.
Definitely.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Okay.
All right, and I also had a little bit more information to share, but we have another caller yet, Melissa. If not, cue up one of those songs, and then I have some more information to share where Culture Arm is concerned as well.
Trinity, out at Poland. Come to Queen City to check out the effect. She tell me she hear about Culturama, so she come to see how culture we could get. Be my guest here, welcome to the party. If you love mass and excitement, you come just in time. Here you go, get it all, not just a fraction. This little exposition will always be on your mind. Hey, a cultural breakdown, this here plenty action round town. And the young, the old and the in-between, coming out to dig this infecting total. We small but okay, we casual. Listen, girl, listen, carnival, so you won't get in bacchanal. It's a cultural time. Let me mind, let me mind. Constant motion, everybody moving. I tell you, participation, that is the motto. We can unite as one, that's what we are proving. While we depicting the black man's culture of long ago. Hey, local drama, we proudly portray. And if you love nigga business, you're in the right place. Or if you just wanna play mass, well, this is the season. So there is no reason to stand here staring in space. Let me shake up your waist to culture music. It's so nice you can't refuse it. And before you forget, let me remind you, there's no other effect of this kind. Some making merry, some busy making money. But darling, if you don't have a time, do not fret, I will give you mine. This a culture rock time. Everyone, everyone. This time I hear the place like a magnet. Nationals abroad coming here to roam. Some of them like if they caught in a dragnet, and they now realize that there is no place like home. Hey, Culturama is the big attraction. I tell you, this is the action they don't wanna miss. You can go and search the whole world all over, but you will never ever find nothing quite like this. We jamming peaceful and everybody joyful, so you don't have to think about crime. Get that nonsense off your mind. Music campaign, you know see people rambling. Well, let me jump in and join the line. Pick the rhythm and sing the rhyme. It's a cultural time. Everyone, everyone. Yeah, this is a jam. Let me shake the banner. It's a cultural time.
course, that's the ginger out of Hanley's Road, out of my hometown, Hanley's Road. And of course, we know that when it comes to composing the calypso, nobody can touch the ginger. Ginger, you learn to dance yet, boy? And so, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are in tune to the Eastern Caribbean Spouse, we are trying to put people in the mood for Culturama because we want all Nivisions. And I believe Ginger is going to be home because I understand that all Nivisions living in New York are coming home for C50 and the homecoming. And so we are expecting to see all those of you in New York, in Massachusetts, in Connecticut, wherever in Florida, wherever you're coming from, flock up the place and come home for C50. We have an exciting calendar of events planned for you, and we're going to be looking for your face in the place. I also wanted to indicate as well that for Culturama 50, the committee and the Nevis Island administration will be, of course, we spoke earlier about persons sprucing up their business places, sprucing up their homes. We said the island administration will be sprucing up the government buildings in Charlestown and so on. And we will be doing some work. We have a caller online. Good evening, caller. You're live and on the mark.
Hi, good evening, Honorable Evelyn.
How are you tonight?
I'm great.
Lovely.
Despite the weather.
You getting anywhere yet in St. Kitts yet?
Long time, since about after 7. How you know it's St. Kitts?
I know. I hear you calling on. I hear you calling to the on the mark every week practically, and I know you're from St. Kitts. I think one night you said you're from St. Kitts.
Oh, okay. You got that right.
Yes. Okay.
So when you're inviting private promoters to take part in the Culturama, are you just referring to Nivision?
No, anyone.
The reason for me asking, because a few months ago, last year, I called into the program and the premier was hosting it.
Yes.
And I think it was to do in reference with the jingle competition or the slogan competition rather.
Okay.
And I was asking him if anyone can participate. And he said he would prefer it be a Nivision thing. So I said, well, you know, Kittitians are who make up the majority of Culturama. You know, because you have Kittitians participating in all aspects.
Yes.
So
and remember, not cutting you off, but remember when we have Culturama, we have almost all the bands coming over here as well to take part in some of the activities.
But I asked him, how is it when we have carnival? He said that's national. So I said, okay, but I mean,
I think I remember that conversation.
I personally feel something of this nature should have been a collaborative effort. If you want to make it so big or great or, you know, different, I think it should be, both islands should be involved.
Of course, and I think both islands are normally involved because we can't have a Culturama without the Kittitians, our brothers and sisters from St. Kitts coming over.
It's a Division, like carnival and, you know, like owning a vision, you know. So I'm just asking.
Yes. Okay.
You have a good night.
Thank you so much for calling, and you have a wonderful night, and I'll see you for C50, right?
Hopefully.
Okay. All right. Take care. Thank you so much for calling. All right. And so I was saying a while ago that I was talking earlier about sprucing up, and we wanting persons to spruce up their homes, spruce up their building, their business places, but especially in Charlestown. And we have also made a decision to do some work at both the cultural village and the cultural complex for C50. Of course, we know that a lot more persons will be attending the shows, and so we'll be doing some sprucing up there as well. And so work at the village and the complex will be starting pretty shortly as well, because we want to ensure that we get the work completed and out of the village and out of the complex prior to the start of any shows, or prior to the start of any preliminary shows for Culturama, because I did indicate that, of course, because it's a C50, some of the events we're going to be starting earlier on this year, and so we want to make sure that whatever we are doing at the cultural complex and at the cultural village, that we get them out of the way. And so very soon, very shortly, you'll be seeing work commence at the cultural complex and at the cultural village. I don't think I will say now exactly what the work is, but we're going to be doing some work there, and so you'll be seeing that work starting there very, very shortly. I would also want to indicate that we will be doing some work at NEPAC as well, because unfortunately we've had NEPAC has been out of commission now for some time, and we want to ensure that NEPAC is ready for Culturama 50. We know a lot of persons would want to host events there at NEPAC even before Culturama 50, and we want NEPAC to be ready as well. And so we'll be doing work at NEPAC, we'll be doing work at the cultural complex, we'll be doing work at the cultural village, because we want to ensure that all of these venues are up to standard. And we don't want when anyone, because we spoke about the private promoters, we don't want anybody who is hosting an event at NEPAC or hosting an event at the village or at the complex have any complaints whatsoever. And so we want the venues to be up to standard, up to scratch. And so we're asking persons to be aware of that, and we want to assure you that these 3 venues will be up and running and well outfitted for Culturama 50. I know that for a better part of last year, we had to forego events at the NEPAC, and we want to apologize for that. We had an issue with the roof leaking, and of course I think that issue has been there for a very long time. Soon after it was built, I think it began to leak, and so we've had some issues with the leaking. We had some issues with the air conditioning there at NEPAC, and so we are trying to sort all of that out, and so we want to ensure that people are comfortable come C50. All who we are inviting to come home, we don't want any complaints when you come. And so we want to ensure that our venues are up to scratch. And so whatever we have to do to spruce them up, the Nevis Island administration will undertake. And we have decided we need to start early o'clock. And so once again, we are talking a lot about Culturama for this On the Mark, and so let's get some more Culturama music to get people in the mood.
A classic, and at the same time, progressive. It's a core to the core. Get it! Give me. Well, yeah! Nice, man. Well, coming on the road to Remani. You hear Papa T? Trouble. People jamming to the core and reading all the rags. Them waving everybody, chanting
Most certainly it will be liming non-stop. And listen, we're having an on the mark with a difference tonight because we are winding you up. We're winding you up early o'clock for C50. Culturama 50. I've already had persons telling me from the Virgin Islands they already have their tickets in hand. People are serious about the C50 thing. You know, we are serious here in Nevis, and our nationals overseas, they are serious about coming home. People don't want to miss it, and so persons already have their tickets in hand. And if I can just share a little bit more information with you now, and of course, as I said, our lines are still open. 869-469. Okay, we have a call online. Good evening, caller. You're live and on the mark.
Mr. Sorry, Honorable Evelyn.
Yes.
It's me again.
No problem.
Just a few minutes ago, 'cause it seemed like nobody calling me. Just a few minutes ago, I heard you mention that work will begin shortly on the Culturama village.
Yes.
I personally feel, I don't think like we, meaning think it's Nevis.
Yes.
I'm speaking on the two sides. When I said we shouldn't have to wait until like a special event is coming up, or a special guest artist is coming, or artists are coming to have the place ready.
Okay.
I personally feel the place should have been fixed already, and then you just have a proper and responsible committee in place.
Yes.
To look over the building or the premises and you know, make sure it's well kept and everything. And that's our problem we have too. We don't maintain buildings or places. So you find like when something coming up, we're running, going to fix this, fix that, and all kind of thing. And it also reminds me of previous government. We shouldn't have to wait until the Queen or the Prince is coming or an election is nigh to fix the road.
Okay.
And I've seen that happen in the past.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, and those are very, very valid comments, and you're indeed, very, you're correct.
I call into a program and say stupidness or nonsense.
And one thing I can tell you though, that here in Nevis, we don't wait for anything to happen to fix our roads. Because I don't know when last you came to Nevis, but trust me, we have tip-top roads in Nevis now, right? And we don't wait till election, we don't wait till anything. Oh,
I'm not saying you do it.
I know.
I'm just speaking in general.
Yes, of course, yes. And you're right, because, I mean, a lot of the times we wait until the last minute and then we can't get through in time for the start of the activities.
Exactly.
But I can tell you, governments are normally challenged financially, and that is one of the reasons why sometimes we have to wait until last minute. But you have made some very valid points.
But Mr. Evelyn, the same way you wait till last minute when, say, maybe the Queen, well, you know, she died now, or the Prince is coming, or an election is nigh. The same way you could have find the money, but, you know, we tend to look out more for those.
Yes, you're very correct. So thank you very much for your very valid comments.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And if I can now, we were talking about the co-events that were released on the 25th of January. If I can just go through some of these co-events that were released. We have Friday, April the 12th. We have the launch of Culturama 50. And we have the reveal of the Culturama 50 senior pageant contestants. And that will be downtown Charlestown at the Charlestown waterfront. That's Friday, April the 12th. On Saturday, July the 6th, we have a night of steel. And let me say here that we're having a night of steel. The night of steel is really to showcase the talents of our steel pan players. And of course, we would all know that steel pan music has grown tremendously over the years here on the island of Nevis. And so last year we would have had the night of steel, and I think the year before, and all reports are that it went exceptionally well. This year we're actually having a panorama competition, but before we have the panorama competition, we're having a night of steel. And so the night of steel is really like a prep, like a dress rehearsal for the panorama competition. Last year we had a 5-a-side, but this year we're having a full-fledged panorama competition. But before we have the Panorama Night. We're going to have the Night of Steel, where all of the steel pan groups, and we have a lot of steel pan groups on Nevis, all of them will come and showcase their abilities on the Night of Steel. And so that will take place on Saturday, July the 6th. As I said, we are starting early with everything. On Saturday, July the 13th, we have the Senior Calypso Eliminations. So that's on Saturday, July the 13th. On Sunday, July the 14th, we have a fashion show. And of course, over the years, we've had fashion shows. But for whatever reasons, over the past year, we haven't had any fashion shows. And the fashion shows would have involved all of the pageant contestants, Miss Culture, Miss Swimwear, Mr. Cool, Talented Youth, and so on. And they normally went very well. I could recall many of them were hosted up in my constituency up at Old Manor Hotel when Old Manor was in swing. And so we are bringing back the fashion show this year, and the fashion show will be held at the David Fremont Center of Excellence, and that will be Sunday the 14th of July. And so all of the contestants can gear themselves up to of course be on show at the fashion show, and of course we'll be featuring a lot of our fashion houses on the island of Nevis as well. Saturday, July the 20th, we have the opening of the Cultural Village. We have the Soca Monarch semi-finals on that same night, and that of course will be at the Cultural Village. That's on Saturday, July the 20th. On Sunday, July the 21st, we have the Senior Calypso Fiesta, and that's the Senior Calypso semi-finals. So we have the Soca Monarch semi-finals on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday we have the Senior Calypso semi-finals. We call it the Calypso Fiesta, and that will be held at the David Fremont Center of Excellence. And so on the Saturday night we will be at the Cultural Village. On the Sunday night we'll be at the David Fremont Center. On Wednesday, the 24th of July, we have the Junior Calypso Finals, and that will be taking place at the Cultural Village. And then on Friday, July the 26th, we have the Culturama 50 Golden Jubilee Awards ceremony, and that hopefully will be held at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. And of course, we know that Culturama is celebrating 50, and we want to show our appreciation and to honor some of the persons who would have been a part of the festival over the 50 years. And so that will be Friday, July the 26th. Of course, we know that the opening of the festival is Thursday, July the 25th. On Sunday, July the 28th, we have the Miss Culture Swimwear and the Mr. Cool contest, and of course that will be held at the Cultural Complex. And of course, I would have said earlier, we have a full complement. On Monday, July the 29th, we have Poets in the Square, and of course we normally have Poets in the Square for the whole week, and that's the Memorial Square. And we have the Bunny Panorama contest at the Cultural Complex. So I did indicate we have the Night of Steel, and that will be the prelude to the Panorama contest. So the Night of Steel will be July the 6th, and then the Panorama contest will be on Monday, July the 29th. On Tuesday, July the 30th, we have Poets in the Square again, and we have the Miss and the Miss Talented Youth pageant at the Cultural Complex. On Wednesday the 31st, this is a big day, because of course we have dubbed Culturama 50. It's a Culturama 50 and homecoming, and this particular day, Wednesday the 31st of July, is dubbed Homecoming Day. And the Homecoming Day celebrations we have planned for the Nivision Heritage Village. And so we know over there you can get the authentic Nivision experience. And so all of our returning nationals and all of our visitors will be asking you to converge on the Nivision Heritage Village on Homecoming Day, and of course we'll be asking people to dress in their national colors, put on something festive to come to the village. We're going to be doing that in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism. And of course, those of you who want to remain in Charleston for Poets in the Square, there will still be Poets in the Square on that night, on that day as well. And so it's a big day on Wednesday the 31st of July. That's the homecoming day, and in the night there is a gala taking place as well. And then on Thursday the 1st of August, Poets in the Square again. We have the Junior Cultural Street Parade this year. We're intending to have the Junior Cultural Street Parade separate and apart from the Senior Parade, because of course we know that most likely we'll be having a lot more senior troops, and so we're going to be having the Junior Parade separate and apart. So we're having the Junior Parade on Thursday, August the 1st, and this in the night we have the Soca Monarch contest at the Cultural Village. On Friday the 2nd of August, we have Poets in the Square again, and we have the Senior Calypso Monarch finals at the Cultural Complex. On Saturday, August the 3rd, it's a huge day, it's a massive day for Culturama 50. We have the Culturama 50 Art, Craft and Cultural Food Fair, and that will be held at the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park, and so that's on the Saturday. Of course, we have the Culturama 50 Emancipation Concert that night as well. And then on Sunday, August 4th, we have the Miss Culture Queen pageant at the Cultural Complex. And on Monday, August the 5th, we have the Emancipation Juve Jump Up, right? And so that in a nutshell gives you an indication of some of the core activities that will be happening for Culturama 50, and as I indicated, that's only the first wave. And so right about now we will have another Culturama song as we ramp up things for C50.
Set up ears. Don't be afraid to go for what you want. Somebody said MSD, military, black soccer. Now I got up mad. We are push forward. I want to hear everybody say ready, ready. Hey, I have a DP, I have a
Well, we're pushing strictly forward for C50 and the homecoming. And I want to remind all of the divisions overseas, we are looking forward to seeing your face in the place. And if you haven't booked your vacation, if you haven't booked your flight yet, please, we're asking you to do so. And of course, we know that over the years as well, we've had complaints from people in St. Martin, people in the Virgin Islands, sometimes not being able to get any connectivity. But we are working hard with Winair, because we want to have Winair resume flights to Nevis on time for Culturama 50 as well. So we want to let the people in St. Martin know that we are in discussion with Winair. They would have had a test flight here, I think it was last week. And so we are hopeful that persons will be able to leave Nevis, the Vance Emery International Airport, once again soon, and travel to St. Martin, whether you want to go for a day trip, whether you want to go for a couple of days. And so we are working diligently with that. Of course, we know the situation is now when you want to go to St. Martin, you have to travel out of St. Kitts. And so we are working very hard with Winnie. We are in some very, very intense discussions with them, and things are looking bright. Things are looking bright, and so we are hopeful. The mere fact that they would have done a test flight to Nevis, it means that the folks in Winair are interested in coming to Nevis, coming directly from St. Martin to Nevis. And maybe when that materializes, we may not have flights every day, but we are hopeful that we could have flights at least a couple days per week, and so persons can go down to St. Martin if they want to do a little shopping, go down and spend the day. You can go down and spend a couple days, and when you have the flight the other couple days after that, you're able to come back. You're able to go down and see your family and friends, and those persons living in St. Martin as well will be able to come up to see their family and friends. And of course, we want, because we know a lot of divisions are in St. Martin as well, and we know a lot of them. Of course, we know we have the boat that makes the connection now, but they are not all persons who wish to travel on the boat. And so we want to provide that option when you're ready to come home for Culturama, for the homecoming, that hopefully we will have Winair running again. We are hopeful. We are not saying it will happen, but we are very hopeful. We are in discussion where that is concerned. We know as well that there is a concern with persons living in St. Croix and St. Thomas, St. John's in the U.S. Virgin Islands in particular, and so we are also in discussion to see how we can bridge that gap as well, and so how we can get you here seamlessly as well. We know we have Cape Air that runs between Nevis and St. Thomas, but we know we normally get the complaints from persons in St. Croix. Since Mike hasn't been doing the regular trips now, we've been having issues as well, and so we are wanting our people to come home, and whatever we have to do as an administration, however we can help, we want to ensure that we can get people home safely. They can come, have fun, see family and friends, and enjoy the festival. And so let's get, as we wind down on the show, we're going to get some more cultural and music as we wind you up for C50 and the homecoming.
Hold
That's the good old Casanova. You remember those days? I am also hearing the rumor that Casanova is coming back for C50. I don't know if they're coming back. Melissa, I want to see with them again, right? But that's the Casanova band, and as I said, we are having fun here tonight on the mark with the difference here, because we are winding people up for Culturama 50, and as we are about to wind down, I just want to remind folks of some information that I would have given out earlier with regards to registration being open for the Talented Youth Pageant. The deadline is Thursday, February the 29th. The Junior Calypso Contest, the deadline for registration is Friday, June the 7th. The Senior Calypso Contest, deadline Friday, March the 29th. Soca Monarch Contest, deadline Friday, May the 3rd. The song submission deadline is Friday, May the 31st, 2024, and songs should be emailed in MP3 format to music@culturamanives.com. And of course, remember, those of you who want to do fringe events, you have to send in your information by Wednesday, February 21st. We have a call online. Good evening, caller.
Honorable Evelyn.
Yes.
I want to know what happened to your Visions. They're not calling it.
Don't worry, we're having fun still. Don't worry.
Sorry?
I said don't worry, we're still having fun on the mark.
No, but I mean, this is their program, and I mean, with such an event coming up, they're supposed to be ringing off the phone.
Well, maybe they're enjoying the Culturama music.
Most of us, we only want to hear about politics and religion, because those two topics don't have no end.
Thank you very much. You made a solid point. And I didn't bring any politics tonight.
No. So for sure, most people don't interested in politics.
Precisely.
Everything out of the mouth is politics. Once they ain't talking politics, they're not interested. Or religion, because those two topics don't have no end. They're not interested.
True. But thank you very much.
You have to say like Mr. Brand. I saw with Premier Brand when the band struck up.
All right, thank you very much.
All right.
But I mean, Melissa, let's hear something from Nico Nevis Nice, because we want to remind all of our Nevisions in the diaspora in particular that Nevis Nice, and you have to come home to this nice place called Nevis. You will never find a place on earth like Paradise Nevis. So as we get some Nevis Nice from Miko, just want to remind once again that persons who want to do fringe events, you need to submit your stuff by Wednesday, February the 21st. So let's get a little bit of Nevis Nice before the band really strike up.
Everybody talking about the country and how the native land is the best. But never ever let no foreigner fool thee. Some of them island is in a mess. And when they talk about democracy, peace and tranquility, not one of them islands could compete with we. But I'm proud of me native land, I'm proud to be division, and of power and boast of no confusion. And every time I walk the streets of Queen City, I see much Winnie and Guyanese. I never thought I would live to see.
And yes, we should all be proud Nevisions, and for Culturama 50, let us all put the politics aside. Let's put the politics behind. Let us all party and revel in unity for C50 coming up July the 25th until August the 6th. And once again, we extend that invitation, especially to our Nevisions living in the diaspora. Come home! It's a homecoming as well. And so it has been my pleasure hosting On The Mark tonight. And of course, you can listen again tomorrow. The repeat is tomorrow from 1 p.m. So it's been my pleasure. Thank you. Good night. And God bless.
The views views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Nevis Broadcasting Company Limited or its advertisers.
With all the power from the tower.